The Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien's epic saga, is a testament to the power of good versus evil, the resilience of hope, and the corrupting influence of power. The One Ring, forged by the Dark Lord Sauron, is the central artifact, a symbol of absolute dominion that promises unimaginable strength at a crippling cost. The story hinges on the ring's journey from Sauron's grasp to the hands of Frodo Baggins, who ultimately carries it to Mount Doom. However, the narrative invites endless what-if scenarios. What if Boromir had successfully wrestled the ring from Frodo? What if Gollum had not fallen into the cracks of Doom? And perhaps most intriguingly, what if Saruman the White, head of the White Council, had claimed the One Ring for himself? This is not merely a fanciful extrapolation, it's a thought experiment rooted in Saruman's character, his ambition, and his existing trajectory. Examining the details of his personality and motivations allows us to construct a plausible, albeit terrifying, alternate reality. This deep dive will explore the ramifications of Saruman wielding the One Ring, considering the impact on Middle-earth and the potential for a new kind of darkness. Greetings all, I'm your guide the Archivist. Today I will look at if Saruman acquired the ring. Before we begin, please remember to like the like and subscribe waystones down below, so that more people can learn from the archives. Before delving into the specifics of Saruman possessing the ring, it's crucial to understand his character. Saruman, originally the leader of the Astari, sent to Middle-earth to aid the fight against Sauron, was renowned for his wisdom, knowledge and skill. He was considered the most powerful of the Order, initially dedicated to the preservation of the free peoples of Middle-earth. However, pride and a craving for power subtly began to corrupt him. His growing fascination with Sauron's methods and his deep study of ring lore led him down a dark path. He believed that to understand Sauron's power, he could ultimately master it and use it for the greater good, or for at least his own vision of order. This belief, fueled by arrogance, blinded him to the true nature of the ring and the inherent corruptive capabilities. Saruman's actions were already demonstrably malevolent before the ring even entered the equation. He industrialized Isengard, polluting the land and felling the ancient trees to fuel his war machine. He bred Uruk-hai, a fearsome hybrid of orc and man, and began plotting the downfall of Rohan. All these actions reveal a ruthless pragmatism and a willingness to sacrifice morality for the sake of power. The One Ring would simply amplify these tendencies, turning a brilliant mind into a tyrannical force. Several possible scenarios could lead to Saruman claiming the ring. Perhaps the most plausible involves a more actively searching Saruman encountering Frodo and the Fellowship on their journey. In the actual narrative, Saruman attempts to capture the ring by sending his Uruk-hai to intercept the company. Imagine, however, that Saruman, driven by a more urgent sense for the ring's proximity, personally intervened. Using his considerable power and persuasive abilities, he could have separated Frodo from the Fellowship. He might have presented himself as a benevolent ally, offering sanctuary in Isengard. Once within his grasp, he could have used his knowledge of the ring and his powerful magic to attempt to seize it. The struggle would be fierce, requiring all of Saruman's cunning and strength. The ring would resist, whispering promises of power and appealing to Saruman's already inflated ego. The crucial factor is whether Saruman could overcome the ring's initial resistance and physically claim it. Given his intelligence and power, the odds of him succeeding are significantly higher than other potential claimants such as Boromir. Once Saruman possessed the One Ring, the details of Middle-earth's future would be drastically altered. The immediate impact would be an exponential increase in his power. He would become a figure of immense authority, capable of bending the wills of others and manipulating events on a grand scale. Saruman would likely use the ring to solidify his control over Isengard and expand his influence outwards. He would subjugate Rohan completely, using the Rohirrim as a powerful cavalry force in his growing army. He might even attempt to corrupt Theoden from the outset, preventing his eventual recovery. The crucial turning point would be Saruman's inevitable confrontation with Sauron. Two immensely powerful beings, both driven by a desire for absolute dominion, would clash. This conflict would be unlike anything seen before. The ring's influence would allow Saruman to challenge Sauron's dominion directly. However, this confrontation would be a double-edged sword. While Saruman could potentially weaken Sauron considerably, While Saruman could potentially weaken Sauron considerably, the ring would also be drawn more strongly to its master, increasing the risk of Sauron reclaiming it. It's possible that the clash would result in a stalemate, or even a devastating war that would ravage Middle-earth. Saruman wielding the ring would not necessarily seek to destroy the Free Peoples. Instead, he might attempt to control them, bending them to his will and incorporating them into his grand design. He might offer them a twisted version of order and progress, promising security and prosperity in exchange for their freedom. This would be a far more insidious form of tyranny than Sauron's open aggression. Sauron's darkness was characterized by brutality and destruction. Saruman's darkness, however, would be more subtle and insidious. It would be a darkness of control and enforced uniformity. He would seek to reshape Middle-earth in his image, erasing its diversity and individuality. Under Saruman's rule, the world would be a place of cold, calculated order, devoid of joy and freedom. The resistance to Saruman's rule would be significantly different. The remaining members of the Fellowship would be scattered and demoralized. Gandalf, having already been rejected by Saruman, would face an even greater challenge to unite the Free Peoples. The elves, already dwindling in numbers, would likely retreat further into their havens, unwilling to risk open war against Saruman's immense power. The hobbits of the Shire, initially protected in their obscurity, might eventually attract Saruman's attention. He could see their inherent resilience and goodness as a threat to his order. The thought of Saruman's forces marching into the Shire is a chilling prospect, a perversion of the idyllic setting Tolkien crafted with such care. While Saruman's reign might initially seem invincible, it would ultimately be doomed to failure. The nature of the ring itself guarantees this. The ring corrupts all who wield it, amplifying their flaws and driving them towards obsession and paranoia. Saruman, despite his intelligence and ambition, would be no exception. His reliance on the ring would make him increasingly vulnerable. He would become isolated, suspicious of everyone around him, and increasingly driven by the ring's will. His grand plans would become twisted and irrational, ultimately leading to his downfall. The means of his demise are less certain. Perhaps Sauron would eventually reclaim the ring, or perhaps a small band of heroes, inspired by Gandalf, would find a way to exploit Saruman's weaknesses and destroy the ring. It's even conceivable that Saruman would ultimately destroy himself, driven mad by the ring's influence. The scenario of Saruman wielding the One Ring underscores a central theme in Tolkien's work: the corrupting influence of power and the importance of humility and resistance against tyranny in all its forms. It highlights that even the most brilliant minds can be seduced by the allure of power, and that the pursuit of control, even under the guise of good, can lead to devastating consequences. The details of this hypothetical scenario paint a grim picture, a testament to the dangers of unchecked ambition and the enduring power of hope, even in the face of overwhelming darkness. It serves as a potent reminder that true strength lies not in domination, but in the preservation of freedom and the unwavering pursuit of good. And so I have now covered the content for this video, but if there's anything that has been missed, please share them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this content, please remember to like the like and subscribe waystones down below. Na Lué Gavan Advan, until we meet again.